Would you please join me in warmly receiving our brother from Birmingham, Brother William Muhammad, the minister of Muhammad Mosque number 69. Go ahead, black man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God, and I bear witness that we are all in the family of divine. I thank Allah for sending Moses. I thank Allah for sending Jesus. I thank Allah for sending Muhammad ibn Abdullah. But since I didn't live under the oppression and suffering of Egypt, since I didn't live under the oppression and suffering of Rome, since I didn't live in the darkness and ignorance of pre-Islamic Saudi Arabia, I would be remiss in my duty if I did not thank Allah for raising up one in our midst, and I speak to you of none other than the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I thank Allah and I thank the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for producing a son for us in this day and time. I speak of none other than the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. In their names, I greet you, my brothers and sisters of Birmingham, Alabama, and surrounding areas in the South and throughout the country. In the greeting words of peace, in the Arabic language, we say, Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, I'd like to thank you for coming out to honor us, to hear the man of the hour. This is a great day in the history of Birmingham. That's right. This is even a greater day in my life. Yes, sir. It's a great honor for me to be introducing the man of the hour. That's right. When I say the man of the hour, I say that because this is the man that time has produced. That's right. We know this because we see the signs when we look at the anger and the rebelliousness in the youth today. When you think about it, these young people never knew Jim Crow. Right. These young people never knew segregation. But yet and still there's an anger in them. There's a rebelliousness in them, and it's there because God has placed a fire in them that the day is the day of liberation. And this task shall not pass to another generation. So when you see the brothers and you see the brothers are doing things that are detrimental to their own behavior, what you must recognize is that they are liberators, but they are looking for the liberator. So we are here tonight to hear that one. I was asked a question, and I would like to relay this to you by a reporter. She asked me, she said, how many followers does Louis Farrakhan have? I said that question should be, is God with Farrakhan? That's right. Because if God is with Farrakhan, he don't need followers. That's right. Because God will raise up the ants. God will raise up the mosquitoes. God will raise up the gnats. God will raise up the cockroaches to bring this world to an end, because if God is with Farrakhan, that's what you need to be asking. It is incumbent upon one who introduces another that this one must know the one he's introducing. Is that right? That's right. So I'd like to tell you how I met the man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I didn't meet him in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago when 10,000 people came out 2 nights in a row to hear him defend Mayor Barry. That's right. I didn't meet him in Atlanta, Georgia in April when over 19,000 black people filled the Omni to hear him say to the government, add it up. I didn't meet him in Los Angeles, California in January when over 17,000 black people paid $10 each and 3,000 was turned away just to hear a man give a word. I didn't meet him in New York in 1985 at Madison Square Garden where over 50,000 people filled that arena, and when these people were told that they could not bring their cameras in, when they were told that they could not bring certain precious items they had with them in, they threw the items away rather than not hear Minister Louis Farrakhan. I met this man 400 years ago when our forefathers came to this land and they stood on the shore and they cried to the ship that brought them over here. They cried to that ship that they wanted to go home. They wanted a way home, but little did they know that the way would be in a man. I met this man 15,000 years ago when the scripture writers looked down the wheel of time and they saw our condition and they saw it as wretched and horrible, and they wrote that one would be raised up in this day and that this one would be a savior for us and a liberator for us. Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Louis Farrakhan. Give it to him. Brothers and sisters, at this time there are some officials who would like to make a presentation to Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'd like to call forward Commissioner Reuben Davis and also Councilman Roosevelt Bell. Let's give them a big round of applause.
I'm honored for remembrance of this night in Alabama to give our honored guests this paperweight that wherever he go, he'll know that we in Alabama love him and stand behind him. That is from Jefferson County Commission. And I'm one of the commissioners, and we want him to know that we certainly appreciate his effort here.
At this time, we will have Councilman Roosevelt Bell to come forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad. To the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to the platform guests, members and friends of the Nation of Islam, and my sisters and brothers all, it's a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to make this presentation to our guests tonight. I bring you greetings from the mayor of this city and my colleagues on the council. Minister Farrakhan, will you please join me at the podium? This is a resolution. Whereas the Council of the City of Birmingham, by unanimous consent, would like to welcome Minister Louis Farrakhan to the City of Birmingham, and whereas the members of his congregation in the City of Birmingham are positive and desirable citizens, and whereas they contribute to the quality of life of all of the citizens of Birmingham, whereas they volunteer to serve on our boards and agencies of the City of Birmingham, whereas they aid in our fight against crime, black-on-black homicide and drugs, and whereas they set an example of independence, thrift, hard work, cooperation, and our common belief in a supreme being. Now therefore it be resolved that this resolution be spread upon the permanent minute of this meeting, with the mayor concurring, and a copy presented to Minister Louis Farrakhan, adopted unanimously on this 7th day of August, 1990. Thank you very much.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God, the Creator of all things, the Revealer of all truth, the Sender of all prophets. We thank Allah for Moses and the Torah, or the Old Testament. We thank Allah for Jesus and the Gospel, or New Testament. We believe in Moses and the Torah, and we believe in Jesus and the Gospel. And we believe in Muhammad ibn Abdullah and the Holy Quran. Peace be upon all of these worthy servants of God. But if I lived to be 1,000, I could never thank God enough for raising up a man in our midst to make the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran relevant books to us and our struggle against oppression and toward liberation, and for oppressed people all over the world, and for the totality of the human family in general. I thank Allah for my teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
To Brother Minister William, and to all of the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad here in Birmingham, I want to thank you from the depth of my heart for your hard work to make this night possible. Without your efforts and the efforts of the believers and your hard-working wife by your side, this could not have happened. We thank you from the depth of our heart. Brother Minister William Muhammad. Stand up, brother. And his wife. And to Minister Van Muhammad, the regional minister of the South, and to the wonderful brothers and sisters of Atlanta, Georgia, who have come and helped Brother William to make this night possible. Thank you. Reverend clergy, members of the City Council, county commissioners, ministers, teachers, civic leaders, television and radio personalities, my dear and beloved brothers and sisters, I am very, very happy to be here in Birmingham, Alabama with you. This is quite a city. When I was a little boy, I used to read a lot of stories about Alabama. And I used to cry myself to sleep many nights thinking over the terrible oppression of black people in the state of Alabama. I was moved by the writings of Booker T. Washington and the fact that he established such a magnificent institution, Tuskegee Institute, an institution that must be supported by us, and it must be returned to the principles that Booker T. Washington founded it upon. This is an extraordinary state, an extraordinary, and you are an extraordinary people. Alabama. The greater the oppression, the greater the souls that come up from that oppression. The greater the suffering, the more powerful the people are made by that suffering. For the scripture says, I have not tried you with silver and gold, but I have tried you in the furnace of affliction. Alabama, Birmingham. Birmingham, a city with great history of oppression of black people. A city that caused many to suffer and bleed and die. But today, this city has chosen a black mayor who has governed the city by your permission for 11, nearly 12 years. This city has the majority on the city council. This city or county, we have 2 county commissioners, and they're with us tonight. This city has 1,121 black businesses, but they're not doing as well as they could. They're not doing as well as they should. This city, Birmingham, with nearly 280,000 citizens, 60% or more of them are black. Yet in this city, we are not getting our fair share of what we should get from city contracts. The government of the United States says that they are not going to support the cities as they once did. When you elected a black mayor, whites began to flee the city. When you moved into formerly all-white neighborhoods, whites began to move out. They took their money and their businesses, and they set up a new town, a new city. and they called it Hoover. They built up shopping malls to attract you from Birmingham, that you will spend your money in Hoover where you don't live. That Hoover's tax base will be able to expand from your money that they may give to their citizens services that maybe you can't get in Birmingham. We've come a long way, Birmingham, but we've got a long way yet to go. At a time when we could be maximizing our strength for economic development, black businesses are weakened, and of 1,145 black businesses, only 192 of them have employees, and those that have employees, the average salary is only $10,000 per year. The average yearly sale for all black firms was $32,000, which is something that a good clerical typist makes.
Go ahead, brother. Teach. Teach, brother.
For the first 10 months of fiscal year 1988, only 2.5% of city business went to black businesses. That means that 97.5% of all city contracts went to white people, yet 60% of the city is black. Something is wrong. The mayor of this city has a personal ability to give out approximately $40 million. And 15 million of that 40 million went to blacks. 25 million of that 40 million went to whites. And the Birmingham Daily newspaper attacked the mayor for the 15 million that he gave to blacks. When a powerful white press begins to attack the mayor, if we're not strong, we become like the turtle. We duck our head back under the shell, waiting for better times to come. But they're shooting at the mayor to keep his head down in the foxhole, that he won't get more courage to give more of what he's able to give to black businesses and more city contracts to black businesses. But we ought to, as a group, get behind the mayor and jump down the throat of the Birmingham newspaper if they shoot him down for a lousy $15 million. We want more of the pie. We want 60% of it. We want what our population says we should have. Mighty Birmingham.
Go ahead, brother minister.
You got tremendous power here, Birmingham. But your power is scattered because your leadership is divided against itself. Preachers are divided against themselves. Many of us have literally sold out. We want a comfortable life, and we want to die easy. To leave what? To whom? The scripture says, naked come I into the world, and naked go I out. You can't carry the Mercedes-Benz with you when you go. You can't carry a fine mansion with you when you go. So why not Birmingham? Why not work while it is day? For the night cometh when no man can work. Oh, Birmingham, a mighty city, a mighty state, a state that could bring about a change in America, a state that is so pregnant with possibility, but so weak in resolve to do what must be done. Cowed down by fear, cowed down by the fear of loss of favor, loss of an appointment, a job. We're selling these babies' future down the river of shame because we won't stand up like men and women and fight like hell to prepare a future for our own children. Instead of our supporting one another, we put the mayor in office. He lived among us. He grew among us. He was a teacher among us. He was a city council person among us. He became mayor for us. But that's not enough. We have to back him up and prop him up and stand him up. He can't do it by himself. And we are wrong to think that because we have elected a black mayor that all of a sudden things are going to be well. Politicians can only create a fitting atmosphere of fairness and justice, but the people must then get up and move. Come on, brother. And as long as we are like Lazarus sitting at the gate of the rich man begging for the crumbs that fall from the rich man's table, we will never have anything. Birmingham, Birmingham, it's not on the mayor, it's not on the county commissioners, it's not on the city council alone. There's some responsibility that must be on each one of our shoulders, and if we all do our part, Birmingham can take its place as a leader. I was asked a question by a lovely sister reporter today. She said, Brother Farrakhan, with the Shoal Creek incident, some are saying that Birmingham and the South has not changed. How long will it be, Minister Farrakhan, before there's a change? I said, my dear sister, the South has changed quite a bit from what it was. But if you mean a meaningful change, that will take as long as it takes you to change your view of yourself. It is only when we make a change, and we can't make a change, brothers and sisters, until we have the courage to look at the man in the mirror, to look at the woman in the mirror, because the problem does not begin with somebody else. The problem begins with ourselves. While we could do so many wonderful things, we got happy over integration. We got happy because now we could go to toilet with white people. We got happy because now we didn't have to spend our money in the barbecue pit owned by Susie May. We could go spend our money downtown with white folks. And so since Jim Crow has gone and segregation has gone, black business started going down too. And all the money that we get out of the American economy in our community, there are Arabs, there are Chinese, there are Koreans, there are others taking money out of our community into their own communities because we have not provided goods and services for ourselves. That's not the Arabs' fault. That's not the Koreans' fault. That is our own fault. We must prepare a future for ourselves. While we got happy over integration, and we got happy that we got a black mayor in Birmingham. Just think about it, in a city where we couldn't even go to the toilet. Now we have a black mayor. God bless us.
Come on, brother.
And you looked at Mayor Arrington as though he was the second coming of Jesus Christ. And when he didn't live up to your expectations, you want to crucify him now because all of a sudden he's not what you wanted. He is what you wanted. But you and I are not what we should be. We got happy. We got happy and we let the downtown business close, and then we sat around wringing our hands asking, what can we do? You don't wring your hands and say, what can I do on Friday night at the liquor store? You don't say, what can I do on the disco floor? You know what you want to do and you go on and do it. But when it comes to building a future for yourself, you're waiting for white people to give it to you instead of uniting and making a future for yourself. The mayor had to fight hard to annex counties or other areas and make them a part of the city of Birmingham so that he could keep a tax base up under Birmingham. so that we might have an inappropriate education. We ask our children to stay in school, but we're not providing them a proper education. We have 3 blacks on the Birmingham Board of Education, and I believe that the schools of Birmingham are predominantly black. But we do not have an Afrocentric education. We are not coming from our own perspective. We are still teaching the same old garbage, the same old slave-making garbage that makes black children come out of school and look to white people as saviors rather than coming out of school qualified to help save them. What are we being trained in? We drop out of high school. Many don't finish college. And when we finish college, we come out functional illiterate. Can't read. But we went to Alabama A&M. We went to Talladega. We went to Tuskegee. We went to the big white colleges as a piece of meat. Big black brother with a pigskin under his arm, running through the line, making a lot of money for white colleges, but graduating with a degree of nonsense that you can't turn into money and a future for yourself and your people. It's nothing more than a glorified plantation where the same old people that our fathers once were, they were nothing more than a piece of meat on the plantation. Big, strong bodies, but many weak minds. And today, in Birmingham, we have an opportunity to build a new Birmingham and make a new South and make a new nation, yes, make a new world. But now that the steel mill has closed down and reopened with high technology, robbing us of 7,000 jobs, and now that the factories are moving out of the city into the suburbs and out of the country into foreign lands, the black man is walking the streets of Birmingham with no aim and no purpose, no job, no future. He has never been taught how to create a future for himself. And if the leadership is not thinking to help put the hands of young black men to work, then what good are we as leaders if the head moves the hands, but this head don't move these hands to go to work for themselves? I'm not condemning us, but I'm pointing out what a head should be. Don't say we're leaders and our people are doing nothing. Don't say we're thinkers and planners and we have not planned the future for our children. Don't say that we are the head of our people and our eyes are put out. We are supposed to see for them. We are supposed to hear for them. We are supposed to speak for them. We are supposed to plan for them. We, as the head of a city, should be like the head on a body. If I'm a bum, that's a witness against my head. And if the people are in a terrible condition, that is a witness against the leadership. We sit around and ask, what shall we do? There's much that we can do. We can revitalize the downtown section of Birmingham and make it live again. How can we do it, you ask?
Come on, brother minister.
We can't do it without the pastors. The preachers have a responsibility, not just to build your little church, but we have a responsibility to the whole flock. Every black man, woman, and child in Birmingham is the flock of God. And we don't need to be hanging around in the church where people say they're saved. We need to be in the streets where the people are lost and on their way to hell. There's 170,000 black people in Birmingham. If we just put aside $1 a week,
Listen. Simple math.
just $1 a week, put one for yourself and one for your babies, and put it in a treasure in a black bank.
Right.
No other bank but a black bank. I know that black banks are not responsive to the needs of black people. You don't have to tell me.
Come on, brother minister. Teach the people.
We got a great bank here. Citizens Federal Savings Bank, which has assets of over $60.5 million and is the 7th largest black-owned thrift in the country. But fewer than 6 of every 100 bank officials are black. And the average bank applicant was more than 3 times as likely to be turned down than the average white applicant.
Listen now. Listen.
Black banks need us to put our money in the bank, but the black bank must be responsive to the needs of the black community.
Teach the man, brother. Come on with it.
You say, but black people don't pay their debts. We can't afford to give them loans. You mean white people pay theirs? The savings and loan scandal is not a black scandal. And that scandal is going to cost the American taxpayer nearly $500 billion.
Listen.
Because of thieves who have been allowed by government, by bank regulators, to get away with murder, but they hold a tight rein on a black bank. Keep you strangled.
Listen.
But our unity will give us the power to say it's not going to happen.
That's right. Teach, brother minister.
We become our worst enemies. But if we found leadership that we could trust, And if you don't trust them, then put it in the bank in my name. And I will sign a document saying that I offer my life. That's all I got. Why shouldn't we make our leaders sign a pledge that if they violate the trust of the people, they must pay with their lives? We have been robbed too much, too long, by too many people that we put faith in, and they walk around and smile at us while they have sold us down the river, but that must stop.
That's right, Brother Minister. That's right. Come on with it, Brother Minister. Bring it home.
You see, white people know how to handle business like that.
Listen. Come on, Brother Minister.
And we're going to have to learn.
That's right. That's right, Brother Minister.
We got to prepare a future for these little babies that are here tonight. And if you rob the babies of their future, you shouldn't have one yourself. But if there was somebody in Birmingham or a group that could be trustees of your money, inside of 1 year, just add it up.
Yeah, add it up.
$170,000 a week for 52 weeks.
Think about it.
I think I'll figure that one out. I think it comes to $8,844,000 in 1 year. Now, if you look at what we spend each week for alcohol, I'm not going to ask you how much is a fifth. I'm not going to ask you how much they charge for reefers. I'm not going to ask you how much they charge for cocaine. Because when I got to the city, it looked like the buildings were nodding, so I know there's a lot of dope here in Birmingham. Everybody wants to throw off on Mayor Barry. But we're almost afraid to get on an airplane. The pilots may be high. We get on Amtrak, and the engineer and the switchman have coked it up, and we end up in a ravine. We take the bus and leave the driving to us, and we don't know where we're going to end up because everybody today is high. Policemen trying to do their duty high. City councilors, councilmen, teachers, everybody on something. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Look at the money you throw away in death. We could put that money in the bank and let it grow interest for us. 1 year's time, we come back. You got a lot of brain power here in Birmingham. Let's take over downtown. Buy the building or lease it. Open up retail stores. And then preachers tell your congregation, We're not spending a dime in Hoover. We're spending it right in the downtown area of Birmingham where we live. Just $1 a week. Just $1 a week. When you got $8 million, nearly $9 million, you can leverage $9 million into many millions. Here, black people all over the South losing land so fast. In the South, the farmers can't get a decent price for their crop. But if the black preachers would unite and begin to think about the sheep and become good shepherds, we could go on down the state of Alabama with our 9 million and invest a few million and buy up farmland. You didn't hear me. We pick cotton for white folks. It'll grow for us too. We know how to farm. Then go on down on the farm again. Let's hook up with Tuskegee. Birmingham, come on, Birmingham. There's no need to be running around with your head down hung, talk about how bad things are. Things are only as bad as you think they are.
Come on, brother minister.
But when you wake up with new possibility thinking, you can make things happen. Get on the farm. Produce your corn, your carrots, your peas, your wheat, and set up a canning factory. Open up your big supermarket.
Come on, brother man.
And we don't buy no place but what we own. Then you come on into your supermarket and get your can of peas off the shelf. Raise your own chickens and keep them clean. Raise your own livestock and keep them clean. Use the most modern but safe means of animal husbandry and agricultural technology.
Come on, brother minister.
And start building Alabama. Oh, you can do it. Go tell the teachers. Come on, teacher. Get in your classroom and please don't tell us about how George Washington chopped down a cherry tree. Tell us how George was a slave owner. Tell us how George had many black women whose babies he fathered.
Come on, brother minister.
Tell us how the Constitution made us 3/5 of a human being. Tell us how you can't legislate freedom. Teach us, teach us. Teach us how freedom comes from self-development. When a baby is growing in the womb, it may want to come forward, but it can't come forward until it grows according to the law of self-development. And when it gets too big for the tiny house to hold it, time says it's time to come forward. Mama can't hold you no longer than time says. Neither can white America hold on to black people as slaves when you are a self-developed people. But it is only through knowledge that you will develop yourselves. So the scripture says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Ignorance is our worst enemy, not white people. Ignorance is the field in which our enemies work us against ourselves. But ignorance can be removed, just like darkness can be removed by just turning on the light. Ignorance can be removed by sharing the light of knowledge. Teachers, stop teaching your people how to go out and get a job.
Come on, brother.
Teach them how to go out and make a job. Teach your people not to look for a factory to work in, but open up a factory that industry may come to us in Alabama.
Listen.
If we buy up the farmland, there are trees on the land. You can cut down the trees and make lumber. There's good old red clay down in Georgia and Alabama. Take the clay and make a kiln and make you some bricks. Then you can build your own houses according to your own specifications. Sell your houses to your people and put the money back in the bank for the people. It's not hard. We just need to come together. But look at us. We have become our own worst enemies. Last year in Alabama, according to some statistics that I was given, there were 402 homicides in Alabama. 248, or 60% of them, were black people killing black people. When a white person kills a black person, we scream.
That's right, brother minister. Teach, brother minister.
We get our picket signs and we march.
That's right, sir.
But when we send each other to the hospital weekly, hourly, and send each other to the cemetery, there's hardly an outcry.
That's right, sir. Right.
Why? Why? Look at the energy that we spent on Shoal Creek. White folks in Alabama want something that they can say is ours. We don't want no blacks in it.
That's right, brother minister.
I don't fault white people for thinking like that.
That's right.
Why shouldn't white people have something that is their own? Why shouldn't we have something that is our own? Why should white people always be trying to get into our organizations? 2 or 3 black people get together, they come. Can we get in? You mean you won't let me in? I think you're practicing reverse racism. That's what it is. The Jews have B'nai B'rith.
That's right.
I don't see no blacks trying to get in there. Come on.
That's right.
I don't think Italians are trying to get in there either. They know that's a Jewish organization to protect the interests of Jewish people. Nothing wrong with that. That's America.
That's right. That's right.
Don't you think whites should have privacy if they don't want you in their family? Is there anything wrong with that? Hell, I don't want them in my family. Is there anything wrong with that? I'm not a racist. I think the white woman looks nice, beautiful, and I like to see her you know, with white men. I think that's nice. I think that's nice. And if white women stayed with their white men, we'd have more peaceful relations.
That's right.
But by the same token, you see, this black woman is our queen. She's our priceless jewel. And I don't want to see her with no stranger. I want her for myself. What about you? Now I know that white men in Birmingham talk sweet to black sisters. I know that, sisters. They set up all these pretty office buildings downtown. You don't even run the elevator in them. But she's going downtown every morning with her briefcase. And he'll open a door for her. Oh, come in, please.
That's right, brother.
Oh, you look so scrumptious this morning. And she just giggling all over herself. Next thing you know, he's telling a dirty joke. And the next thing you know, his hands are where they ought not to be. And she's scared to say anything because she's the breadwinner in the house.
Teach, brother minister. Teach.
She has to take that. And we put her under that stuff.
Yes, sir, that's right.
Because as men, we're not on our job as men. I'm almost finished. I'm not a racist, but I know a Jewish girl could not bring home a German boyfriend. The memory of Auschwitz is too fresh.
That's right.
In the mind of young Jews.
That's right. They're going to keep it fresh.
No, honey, I'm sorry, you can't do that.
That's right.
But it's all right for Jews to remember the Holocaust. But if I try to remember what has been done to black people, it's called hate. For white people, it's remembering. For black people, it's hate. For the white person to be a substance abuser, it's a sickness. When black people abuse substance, they're criminals. When Mrs. Dukakis can drink rubbing alcohol, she might have been the first lady in America drinking rubbing alcohol. White folks say, oh, Godspeed to you.
Come on, brother man.
Pray for her. When Hamilton Jordan was at a party snorting coke,
Listen.
just one of those things. When the white woman that's running for governor in Texas was asked, has she ever used drugs? She said that question is irrelevant. But when Mayor Barrett gets caught snorting coke, he's a criminal. But white folks snort it. It's all right. They're sick. When presidents have extracurricular activities, and I don't mean baseball, basketball, or lawn football, when they have orgies in the White House, because that's our white folks. But when a black man is unfaithful to his wife and he's in public office, let's bring out the cameras. J. Edgar Hoover was in the government under 6 presidents, I believe. None of them liked him, but they couldn't get rid of him because he had film on everybody. You know, they have a vacuum cleaner called Hoover. It picks up all the dirt. And J. Edgar Hoover was like that vacuum cleaner.
Come on, brother. Come on with it.
I would like the government to bring those pictures out and let us see government leaders in their madness like you showed us Mayor Barry in his. I can't excuse sin, but the wickedness of the government is worse than the sins of Mayor Barry. For they spent $42 million over a 7-year period spying on that man. If somebody spent $100,000 spying on us, what would they find? Will the Holy One in the house please stand up? Who's holy among us? Who's perfect among us? Who's righteous among us? The Holy Quran says to us that if God were to punish man for his sins, not one soul would be left alive on the earth. The Bible says all of us have gone astray, and all of our righteousness are as filthy rags. So there ain't none of us good. There's none of us that don't need God's mercy. The hypocrisy of exposing certain ones and covering up other ones is what America's guilty of. And it's a double standard. And I respectfully say to our political leaders, don't get into a public office and think you are white. No, listen. You cannot do what your predecessors did. And the moment you begin to think you're white, you begin to take liberties on the post. And they're watching you like a hawk. So it's better for you and I, when we accept these jobs, to understand that we got to dot every I and cross every T. We got to be right in what we do to the best of our ability, because the enemy is going to be watching to bring us down. That's right. Boy, these lights are hot. I'm going to get right to the core of what I want to say. How can we stop the killing of one another unless we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it? once every 24 minutes in America, somebody is killed. America, literally the greatest country on this earth in terms of wealth and in terms of government, in terms of organization, really in terms of opportunity. There's not another country on this earth. America's equal. She has an awful lot of faults. There's no question about that. But yet, with all of this opportunity and all of this wealth and all of this magnificence, America leads the world in crime. America leads the world in consumption of drugs. What's wrong? If you got so much, and poor people in Bangladesh are not addicted to crack or cocaine or heroin, and poor people in other parts of the world are not destroying their lives as you are doing, as we are doing. What's wrong with America? The president, in my humble judgment, is far off course. And really, if the blind lead the blind, both will fall in the ditch. The president feels we need more jails.
That's right. That's what he said.
More law enforcement officers. Bigger guns. Wrong, Mr. President.
That's right.
You need to look, Mr. President, at the root of a sickness. You portray the drug problem as though it is a black problem, while 85% of the drugs consumed in America are consumed by white people. Drugs has become an American problem. And I'd like to tell you what God has shown me about these drugs. Now, you ask, well, how did God show it to you? Well, he didn't talk to me in the middle of the night and wake me up and take me to a book. I'm not going to tell you no fanciful story that I woke up in the night and God called me. I ain't going to tell that lie. But when God opens up your consciousness to begin to see things clearer, you don't take the credit. You say, God showed me. Because there was no one present in the room teaching me. So I studied and I found certain answers. But I can't take credit for that. I have to give God the credit, but not in a spooky way to make people think that I'm more than what I am. I'm just another human being who has come this way for a short time. And I know that I shall pass. So we don't want people to worship us. People should worship Him who created us and all things. And we should never allow people to take us for gods beside God simply because we know a little bit more than someone else. Because with all that we think we know, we could put it on the head of a common pin and it would have plenty of room to float around. Even with a PhD degree, that doesn't say you know. Says you're a student. Now, I'd like to say, my dear brothers and sisters, that if America has a slaughter going on, one person murdered every 24 minutes.
Listen.
A rape in America is committed once every 6 minutes.
That's right.
Women are being abused. Children are being abused. Human life is being crushed out.
Listen.
All of it is murder. When you take from a woman what a woman does not want to give, that is equivalent to murder. You're doing something to a woman that forbids her from giving herself as she ought to a person in her life whom she may grow to love. But when she's got to remember the pain of sex from a fiend who violated her, and the courts don't give her no justice, and the rapist is allowed to walk the streets to rape again, when a young child is abused by her father or her uncle or her cousin, it's like murder, because we as fathers have the adoration of our young daughters.
Listen.
We don't know how to handle their adoration of us. And so fathers sometimes slip into their daughters' bedrooms at night. The daughter doesn't know how to say no to her own father. She's confused and hurt.
Listen.
You're killing your daughter like as though you never be the same as she could have been if you had left her alone.
That's right, Brother Minister.
The abuse of children, the destruction of women, and the homicide rate have made the cities of America almost unlivable. There were 9 years of war in Vietnam, and 55,000 Americans lost their lives in 9 years in Vietnam. You got the picture? 35% of the 55,000 were black. But with one person dying every 24 minutes, that means there are nearly 23,000 murders in America in 1 year.
Listen.
So we lose more lives in 3 years than we lost in a war in 9 years in America. So we have a better chance of surviving in Vietnam in a hot war than walking through the cities of America trying to survive.
Teach, Brother Minister. Teach.
Think about this. Over half of the murders committed in America are committed by us. So that means that over 10,000 blacks were murdered last year, nearly 12,000. And we lost about 17,000. Think about this. over half of the murders committed in America are committed by us. So that means that over 10,000 blacks were murdered last year, nearly 12,000. And we lost about 17,000 in the war in Vietnam. But in 1 year, we almost approached what we lost in 9 years in Vietnam. What does that say? The cities of America have become a battle zone. And our children show the same psychological scars as the Palestinian children in refugee camps or the Irish children in the war in Northern Ireland between the Catholics and the Protestants. A study has been done. And the sad thing about our children and their suffering from living in a war zone, the Palestinians have an ideology and a cause for which they're dying. The Irish have an ideology and a cause for which they are dying. We are dying, and we don't even know why we are dying. And nobody seems to care. Bear with me a few more minutes. This body, this magnificent body. No. I don't mean it in any foolish way. I'm talking about your body and my body, this body. We go to church and we have to walk softly because we're in church. Shh. Be quiet, it's church. We have more respect for stone, and we violate the real house of God. I can be arrested for painting a swastika on a Jewish synagogue. I can be arrested for graffiti on a Catholic church or a Baptist church or a Muslim mosque. But I can violate a human being and nothing is said or done. We have become things because we glory in things. We glory in a church of mortar and stone and glass. We glory in gold and silver and diamonds. We glory in a piece of paper that we got from a university. We glory in things. And we violate the sacred houses of God because we don't like their color. That's sad. It's not just sad, it's sick. Brothers and sisters, bear with me. This is critical. I want you to understand, please. This marvelous body, no, not like that. This marvelous creation was nothing more than a speck of dust. But a mighty creator built this house from dust according to magnificent principles and laws. You and I were once sperm. The Quran says, once upon a time, man was nothing to speak of. And we don't hold intelligent conversations talking about sperm. We just don't have conversations like that. Did you see the sperm yesterday? And if there were some sperm on the seat next to you, you would get up and say, some nasty person. Yet, that is the origin of all of us. But once upon a time, we were nothing to speak of. But because of God's magnificent creative power, He caused sperm to be cast forth into an hostile environment. And in the darkness of the womb, 100,000 to millions were swimming toward the egg, and only one could make it. God tested us in our very beginning with a hostile environment, because God knows that the law of life is that the strong survive. So God wanted to know whether we were fit to come on the earth to run the race, because life is not a crystal stairway. Life is a struggle, brothers and sisters. The vaginal tract of the female is an hostile environment. But we made it. The odds that we will make it was from 100,000 to 1 to 1,000,000 to 1 to 10 million to 1. Some say even 1 billion. But the odds were great. But you, black, white, red, yellow, brown, you made it. That means you're fit to run this race called life. In the darkness of the womb, you had to swim against gravity to get to the egg. So don't talk about the uphill road. I can't make it. People don't like me. It's hostile in Birmingham. They don't like us in Alabama. White folks don't like us in America. Shut up. The environment that you were in as a sperm didn't like you either, but you made it. And you can make it now if you would. We swam against gravity and against the odds, and we conquered a hostile environment, and that sperm fertilized the egg, and a major explosion took place in the darkness of the womb. Mama didn't know that she was pregnant. Daddy didn't know. But God knew. And He was there with us. So how dare you think that you can't make it on your own? How dare you think that you need a whole host of sycophants around you praising you and worshiping you up or backing you up? God is sufficient. He was with you in the womb. He saw you through. And if God be for you, there is none that can be against you and win. What do you say, Birmingham? The Quran says, when we became the first life germ, we began turning in the darkness. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me that that first life germ is life. Everything to make a human being fully is in that first cell or germ.
Listen.
It is life. When it starts turning, it would never turn in the darkness of the womb unless light was present. Oh, I want you to listen now. But the womb is pitch black, triple darkness, but yet the egg, fertilized, begins to revolve like the planets.
Come on, brother.
Because there is light at the nucleus. And it is revolving around the light of itself because we are exact replications of God. God is a light of himself.
Come on, brother minister. Come on with it.
And he makes our life to bear witness to him. Listen, scholars and scientists.
Come on, brother minister. Come on, brother.
I want to show you today that I have been taught by a superior teacher, not made by your colleges and universities. Just bear with me.
Come on with it.
That cell revolving begins to break down and build up. It forms a clot. But in that first state, it looks for a firm resting place. And it finds it in the walls of the uterus. There is an intelligence present there. Even though it is not conscious, there is an intelligence there. The brains have not begun to form, but there is intelligence there. After 30 days, you miss your menses and you say, uh-oh. I better go check this out. Then some of you get paralyzed and say, oh God, I'm pregnant. Thank God for the abortion clinic. I'm on my way. I don't want this thing.
Teach, brother minister.
You want to stop the young killers from killing, but you don't want to be stopped from killing the marvelous fruit of your wombs. No, don't get sad, sisters, because I'm not trying to make one of you feel guilty. No, that's not my aim. For whatever was done in the past, it's in the past. And God will forgive all that you have done in ignorance. But when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And I want to help you to know better tonight. Women, white, black, red, yellow, and brown, you are co-creators with God.
Yes, sir.
This womb is a replica of the dark womb called universe.
Teach, brother minister.
This womb called mind is a replica of the dark womb called space.
Come on, brother minister.
With this womb, God fashions, forms life. It can be a Genghis Khan Farrakhan or a Hitler, or it can be a Moses or a Jesus. It is up to you, woman. You can make it what you want it to be. That's how powerful a woman is, and that's why in the Islamic world, where the American troops are now in the desert of Arabia, the penalty for abuse of women is death. And that's what it should be. That's what it must be. That's what it will be. You do not abuse God's co-helper in the act of creation. You women are absolutely marvelous, wonderful creation of God. Not just for your womb, but for this womb. Come on now, Brother Minister. I'll talk to both wombs in a minute and show you where death is in this womb and death is in this womb. Stop the killing. Beloved brothers and sisters, we become a clot, then a fetus, then an embryo, pardon me, then a fetus. Then God brings us forward, complete yet incomplete. We as human beings have to develop human qualities in a human potential that evolved like a tadpole, like a fish swimming in water with gills, then becoming a creature with eyes and ears and a brain forming and lungs and a mind. And we come forward, but we're too busy. The economic situation is so terrible. Mama gotta work. Daddy ain't there. She's got to worry about how she's going to make ends meet and take care of a child at the same time. So she takes her baby off of her breast. Dear sisters, your breast is the feeding ground of both the brain and the body of your child. There is no healthy cow whose milk is more precious than even a sick mother's milk. Listen now. You kick the calf off the udder of the cow to take its milk. And we men put the baby off the breast for us to lay there. And you women are more busy putting your breast in a man's mouth than putting your breast in the mouth of your children. If it gets too hot for you, go into the restroom and cool off and come back. This, sisters, this breast is a sacred feeding ground where you pass on in the milk.
Come on, Brother Minister.
Not just the substance of what you eat, but you pass on the substance of what you think. You didn't hear me. I challenge all the doctors in the world.
Come on, brother.
Thought generates chemistry. And by our thinking and our moods, our emotional state become a part of the milk that the baby nurses. When you treat a woman right, when you handle her like she should be handled, when you work for her like she should be worked for, when you support her like she should be supported, then she can take the time necessary to make a Jesus instead of a Hitler, make a Moses instead of a Kubla Khan, make a Muhammad instead of a Napoleon. Your breast is the nurturing ground for feeding human emotion into your children. But you snatch your baby from your breast and you put it on an infant formula.
That's what you do.
Similac or Infamil, which is at best or at worst a chemical replication without the thought. My God. And then you get silly and say, well, I want to keep my form.
That's what they say. Come on, brother minister. Teach. Teach, brother minister.
Nursing that baby will pull your uterus back in place. Nursing that baby will help keep your form. Nursing that baby heals the mother because it bonds the mother to the baby, and it bonds the baby to the mother. And then the baby comes up with feelings that are human and not cold, dispassionate persons that are animals in human form. And so you give your children to a babysitter for business. I'll take care of your babies. I don't love them, it's business. Shut up, sit down.
Teach, brother minister. Teach.
You stick a pacifier in the baby's mouth, something plastic and foreign to the nature. You take your breast away.
Yes, sir.
Give it a plastic bottle. Lord have mercy. You don't allow the baby, as it is nursing from your breast, to feel the warmth of your body as its little hands caress that breast that it is feeding from, touching you on your chest, making you to know that it is grateful for what is coming from you, and it is bonding to you. You are God's representative to that child, and that child is learning to praise God through you. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? But when you take your child away from you, put it in a daycare center. You come home from work, hard day at the office, go pick up your baby, get home, it's time to cook. Oh God, I hate to cook. Sit down, look at the TV. Listen, don't talk to me about that now. I got to cook. but you can't cook. Takes time to prepare a meal. So you let some filthy cook in some kitchen you don't know nothing about cook your food for you, full of preservatives, death, chemical death. You pop it in the oven, pop it out. Sit down, baby, let's eat. Where's your teddy bear? Where's your teddy bear? Where's your Cabbage Patch doll? Where's your Barbie doll? Some plastic thing. And you wonder why you're so damn plastic. You wonder why you're so false, so unreal, so full of hypocrisy, so hard and cold that you treat one another like not human beings, but like things. You use women and you throw them away. You use men and you throw them away like you use toilet tissue and throw it away. Stop the killing. I'm almost there. When we grow like this, your children are more wedded to the streets than they are to you. There once was a time that home had the number one influence, then church, then school, then television, and other things. But in the last 10 years, home has been replaced as the number one influence on children. The streets are first. Church is not even in it anymore. Church is not in it anymore. So now you have a nation full of hard children. The jails are filled with them. And the penologists say that they've never seen a generation so cold as the young people that are in prison today. They can kill and not even bat an eyelash. And so we prey upon our elderly. Our old people can't walk the streets anymore. We beat them and rob them. As children, we mistreat our parents. We have grown savage. And what is a savage? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said a savage is a person that has lost the knowledge of self and is living a beast life. Now we can wrap this up. A beast is what the Bible closes in the book of Revelations talking about 4 beasts. And these beasts had the people of God under their control, so that the people of God had the mark of the beast in their foreheads and in their hands. And the number of the beast is the number of a man, 600, 666. We live in a world that is not yet human. It has the potential to grow to human proportions, but humanity has become beasts. The ruling powers of the world are not human, they're beasts. They use their might and their power to trample upon the weaker nations. They suck the blood of the weaker nations. They rob the weaker nations of their resources so that they might build themselves into more powerful beasts. $600, 666. Adam was made 4004 BC, according to the Genesis. That means 4004 BC, we are now at near 2000 AD. 4 and 2 is? The major prophets came every 2,000 years. From Adam to Moses is, from Moses to Jesus is. And we are how many years from Jesus? We are at what? 6,000 years. How high is the ceiling of gravity? 6 miles. How deep is the average grave? 6 feet. How tall is the average man? 6 feet. When do you start school? 6 years old. What is the capital of America? Washington, D.C. In Roman numerals, D is 500, C is 100, 5 and 1 is what? Count the number of a beast, for it is the number of a man, 666. And the beast got human beings under his grip, but the mark of the beast is in their forehead and in their hands. They have been made to think like beasts. Therefore, they act like animals.
Teach, brother minister. Come on with it.
And I saw a pale horse, and the rider was death, and hell followed closely behind. Why a horse? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that we should not eat horse meat, even though horse meat is a better meat than cow's meat. It's purer, cleaner, excellent meat. Why don't you eat it? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the horse is the most intelligent of all of the beasts. And to eat the flesh of a horse is similar to, or is like, eating the flesh of a human being. We do not eat human beings because human beings are created, according to the Bible, after the image and in the likeness of God. So out of respect for this superior creation, we must not violate its flesh or drink its blood. But this horse had death as a rider. It was a pale horse, and hell followed closely behind. You see, whenever death becomes the rider of your intelligence, then hell follows you wherever you go. Now wait, we gotta locate death so we can stop the killing. When death rides your intelligence, hell follows you wherever you go. How does death ride one's intelligence? I gotta walk a little. Can you? Yeah, thank you. Give me some sound. I gotta get out of them hot lights too. Everybody all right? Just hang with me a few more minutes. Brothers and sisters, what is death? Of course, death is the cessation of life. When a physical body dies, the heart stops. The last thing to go, oftentimes, is what? The brain. When the brain goes, it's over, even if the heart is still beating. If death rides your intelligence, then the heart and the brain are under the control of a force that is called death, and it brings in its wake hell. Well, what is this death? I'm going to go very, very fast now. In the New Testament, it says the wages of sin is. So what you get paid for sin is death of the mind and death of the heart. That's why you're cold, because you're dead. And that's why you're non-productive as a people, because something here is missing. Y'all all right? I'm going to get real clear. Follow me now. This is the critical part of the lecture. Now, what is the law of life? And what is sin? According to the Bible, sin is transgression of the law, rebellion against the law. Well, what is the law? That if you rebel against that law, it produces death. So then death begins to ride your intelligence. Bear with me now. Brothers and sisters, God has created everything to submit to a law. That magnificent sun out there submits to a law. How do you know it submits? Because it's rotating and it's making its own revolution, which means it is in obedience to a power greater than itself. If it was the power or were the power in the universe, it would be standing still, making everything else move. But the sun too is moving, so there's another power moving it. You got it? Follow me now. We live on a planet, isn't it a marvelous earth? But this earth obeys a law. The light of the sun strikes the earth at the equator, as we are taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, causing the earth to spin. In what? Perfect obedience to the law of light and the law of motion. And as the earth turns, she makes a rotation on her axis and a revolution around the sun. But since the earth is not perfectly round, it is oblong. If you take an egg which is oblong, or an apple, or an orange, or a grapefruit, or anything that is supposed to be round, look at it, it is as the earth, not completely round, not perfect. But it has an oblong shape, which means it is wider at the center and more narrow at the top. So when it rolls, it makes a wobble in its motion. Listen now. Y'all all right? The earth has a wobble in its motion. But look at the smooth ride you got. And you know, if you got an imbalanced tire, you going down the highway just shaking and going, stop, stop, stop. This tire is killing me. Fix that tire. then when you balance the tire, you get a smoother ride. And it feels so much better, doesn't it? We've been in here 2 hours. And you know what? We have traveled over 2,000 miles in space since you've been sitting here. And you ain't felt nothing. This is better than a 747. Better than anything white folks had made. This is a smooth ride until God shakes it up. Now when he shakes it up, well, now the earth, in perfect obedience to the law of light, travels at a speed of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour as she rotates on her axis every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds. We get a day, and every 365 1/4 days we get a year. And because of her wobble, she makes 4 dips in and out. And these ins and outs are the things that give you your seasonal changes. But how come you don't feel the earth with this wobble? Because God says in the Quran, he has raised up mountains on the earth. You know how you put a balance on your tire? God raised up mountains so that you won't feel the movement of the earth. The Quran says, lest the earth convulse. See? Then God caused the earth to lean 23 degrees 30 minutes to the plane of its orbit. And in this leaning and in this mountains and in her perfect obedience, you don't even feel the wobble of her nature. Now we come up out of the earth. So that means there's no human being that doesn't have some wobble or crookedness in our being. And I want you to listen to me now. Whether you're white or brown or red or yellow or white or black, when you have an earth body, this earth has the same wobble in the nature of it as the motion of the planets. So the only way you won't feel the wobble in your own nature, earth nature, is if you surrender to the law of God, to the law of truth and light. And in perfect obedience to that law, you will go through earth, not creating the evil that you and I can create because of the wobble of the nature of us, which is completely under control. Our will to do the will of God. Now I'm right there. Now follow me. This is the end. Y'all all right? You're not sleeping, are you? Okay, wake right up now. Come on. There's a few more minutes. You can hang in there. There's plenty of room, plenty of time to go to the disco. But I know after we get finished with you tonight, you ain't going no place but home to think. All right, here we are now. Follow this. You notice in the garden, there's a snake.
Listen.
Snakes make a wobble in their motion.
Listen.
God is talking to Adam. Hey, Adam, eat of all the trees, but this one in the middle of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, don't eat the fruit of that. You got that, Adam? Yes, sir. Said, now, Adam, in order to do your work, I got to give you some help. Now, man, listen to this carefully, black man. All men. God made man to have dominion. A man is not a man until and unless he has the capacity to govern first himself. Listen, listen, listen now. Then God says to man, I've given you dominion over the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and every creeping thing that crawls upon the earth. Now I'm giving you orders, and these orders are in the very genetic makeup of you, man. Not just written in the Bible or the Holy Quran. It's in your nature, and when you don't act according to your nature, it will bring stress upon your mind. I want you to be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. On one level, we've been very fruitful. But that's not the level. In order to be a man, you and I must recognize that in order to produce a product, there must be a multiplier and a multiplicand. We come into the earth, we stand on the earth, we come into creation already here. We are to take what God has given us, multiply it by what is out here, and become a producer of what we need. Any man that is not producing is dead. I'm going to say that again. Any man that is not a producer is dead. And in white America, the white man is what you call him, the man. I went to work for the man. I went downtown to see the man. And then he says to you, boy, come here, boy. You old and gray, but you're still a boy. You know why? Boys are not producers. Men are. And as long as the white man becomes the producer of our food, clothing, shelter, education, and creates jobs for us, he's the man. And we are the boys. And I want you to know that he feels threatened when you become a producer. Because when you become a producer, you will challenge him for rights over you. So he will keep you from being a producer. He will hire your wife, but he'll never hire you. Because he does not want the man, the black man, to stand up like a man. Even when you get elected, he wants to castrate you so that you talk with high-pitched voice. Hello, I'll be right there. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Then you come home to your people and start basing. But downtown, when you talk to white people, yes. You're not a man. You don't speak with a man's voice. You don't do the works of men. And that's why you have stress, abnormal stress, because you're not doing what God created you to do. And your woman knows that you did. Yes. Ask the black woman. She loves you, but she keeps looking at you expecting something that never comes. I married him. I thought I had something. And long about the first month, I began to see that I made a mistake. But I'll stick it out. One baby later, two babies later, three babies later. He's gone, she's there, fat now. Just eating her poor self to death. Now she's going to church, jumping and skipping and hopping. Poor sister. She know that her man is dead. Is there any help for the widow's son? Is there any help? She's a widow. and her children are fatherless. Because the black man is by nature a builder, a producer. But for 400 years, we built nothing, we produced nothing. All right. So, boy, eat of everything in the garden. He makes the woman, tells the woman, help the man. Calls her a helpmeet. Letting you know that in the nature of a woman is help. You don't need a woman if you're doing nothing. You're really wasting a woman's time. Ain't no sense in going to a woman and say, marry me. She said, where you going? I don't know. What you doing? What's your vision? I ain't no vision. Well, what do you need a woman for? She can't help you to do nothing. Then you want sex. And she says, I'm tired. I've been tired. I'm still tired. I'm not being vulgar. I'm telling you how we look in a woman's eyes. She sees us like a dog. She controls you with sex. Because you don't know how to control yourself, nor have you the ability to control her. Oh, man. We're in bad shape, brothers. I better get out of here before they run me out of Birmingham. Birmingham, God gives to everybody their rule in turns. White people have been given the power to rule. No one can deny that white people have ruled the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and the creeping things. They've gone in the depth of the sea and they're dealing with that down there. They've gone up into space and they're dealing with that up there. They got Magellan out there running, giving them a picture of Venus. They're busy, brother. They're rulers. Don't argue with that. They the boss. That's right. White folks, you are the boss. My question, though, is this. Since you didn't create anything that you the boss over, listen, and didn't create yourself, then you will be judged by how you handle what God gave you permission to rule. Listen, this is critical, because I want whites in the audience to understand Elijah Muhammad and Muslims to understand him. He was perfectly wise in what he said. Listen, whites, according to this book, Quran, God said, I am going to place a ruler in the earth. Angels said, what are you going to place in it except that which will create mischief and cause the shedding of blood? And Allah said, I know what you know not. I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. He's going to rule, but he's not going to rule right. He's going to create mischief with his rule and cause the shedding of blood. Why, God? Why? Because he will rebel against the law of life, and he will become a pale horse, and death will rule his intelligence, and hell will follow him everywhere he goes. Now look at this. I have to say this. to whites, and this is not hate, it's just fact. You have not ruled with justice. You have become so obsessed with your skin color and with your superiority, which God gave you. Now you think you're better than everybody because you're white, and because you're intelligent, and because you have become a master. Good. But who made you that? For what purpose? Huh? You see, God allowed you to rule, and we were put to sleep under your rule. And that is why we are called the sleeping giants. Anybody can rule somebody who's asleep, but try it when we awaken. It won't happen then. Now it's wake up time. The black man and woman must awaken, arise, and shine, for your light is come. Arise and shake yourself from the dust. Oh, brothers and sisters, white folk, in rebelling against God's law, the wobble in their nature becomes perfectly manifest. They have made a crooked path everywhere they have gone. Listen, listen, listen. This ain't got nothing to do with hate. It is to show you what happens when you rebel against God. The earth has a wobble. The flesh is a snake that must be under the control of an upright mind. And that's why the sign of medicine is a snake crawling around an upright thing. Are you listening to me? The upright thing must be your mind, and the snake of the wobble of the nature of the flesh, when it is under the control of a mind in obedience to the will of God, you can become a doctor and heal. But when the snake has nothing to crawl up on because the mind has lost its ability for uprightness because it is in rebellion to the law of God, then you become poisoned by the bite of the snake, and the appetites of the flesh begin to rule you and me. And that's why God said to Adam, the day you eat that fruit, you will surely die. And the serpent said, go on and eat it. Your eyes gonna come open. God don't want your eyes open. You be a God like him. And when he ate the fruit, you notice he kept right on living. But the day he ate it, he died. His eyes came open to the lower kingdom. The kingdom from the navel down, ruled by appetites. I see a woman, she sure is fine. I see a woman gonna make her mind. I see a woman with a, yes, I'm after that woman, and I don't care nothing about she's married. I want her. I'm gonna get her. Isn't that something? Same way with the woman and a man. You don't care anymore about right. It's what's in the appetite. White folk don't think about what's right. You want what's in Africa? Take it. You want the oil of the Middle East? Go take it. You want the diamonds in South Africa? Go take it. You want America? Take it from the Indians. Don't ask them no questions. Take it, shoot them, kill them. Death is riding the intelligence, and hell has followed. We live in the underworld. The heart is dead. The brain and the real powers of the mind are dead. This brain is the throne of God. The Quran says God's throne is on water. And God has brought every living thing out of a drop of water. The brain is composed of water. And it is this womb that God lights up and brings out of the mind whatever we can vision. We can bring it into existence. This is the power of the human mind. You see these eyes? They are limited. But some of you have laid down and seen places that you've never been before, because these are not the real eyes. I don't know how many of you have ever had out-of-the-body experiences. How many of you have ever been thinking and on someone that you love, and you see an accident or something taking place and you stop, and then later you learn that the very thing you saw, it happened. You didn't see it with these eyes. You saw it with the power of the brain. Listen. With this brain, you can hear words never uttered within the sphere of sound carried on air, but you can hear conversations, past and present, even into the future. With the power of the brain, the human being is the most magnificent of all of God's creation. But to take a human being and kill them for nothing. We in a pool game and I win and I laugh. You get your gun, you shoot me. I go to a bar and I get drunk, and you dance with my girlfriend, and I reach in my back pocket for my switchblade and I kill you. Look at the disrespect of human life. Death is riding the intelligence. And that's why when you have a baby, you don't value what's in your precious womb. You're thinking about some circumstances that you're afraid of, and you run and kill the fruit of your womb. Stop the killing. Beloved brothers and sisters, I will close this lecture with what I started to tell you earlier about why America is the best or the greatest drug consumer in the world. It is because death has permeated the intelligence. The institutions of America have become death. And hell now is in the church. Hell is in the schools. You can't even teach in the schools today. You got to bring police in the schools because hell is there. What about your home? Hell is there. What about your marriage? Hell is there. What about your life? Hell is there. Why? Death rules your intelligence. Claude, please don't leave. Please don't leave. You've been so good. And I know for anybody to keep you here this long, they got to be saying something. But I may not be back to Birmingham. I may not be back to Birmingham for a while. So could you just bear with me for 5 minutes? Just 5 more. Did you know that drugs are natural? I used to think that people only crave food, air, water, sex, because that's a natural urge. but drugs are natural too. This brain is a factory that produces the body's needs in drugs. Listen to me. Whenever you get afraid, have you noticed in fear you have strength that you didn't have before? You may be running from somebody, maybe it's the police, and you get to a fence that looks pretty high, but you're scared and you get over that fence. Few days later you get back to that fence and you wonder how I got over. But the brain understood you had a need, and the brain released certain chemicals that gave you that added boost of strength to get over the fence or to defend yourself against odds. When it's time to go to sleep, the brain releases certain chemistry that just allows you to go to sleep. When you're in pain, the brain produces something like morphine to sedate you and ease you through pain. When you have trauma through the loss of somebody that you love, the brain releases what you need to go through the regular, normal rigors and struggles of life. But when you live at a time of abnormal stress, you pull from the brain what the brain can produce and you deplete it. Then sometimes you have what is called a chemical imbalance. And many of us are walking the street mentally sick, and we just go off. And you go to the hospital, they give you a drug, MOP, and after a while you take the drug. Oh man, I'm thinking clear again. Then the doctor says you need this drug for the rest of your life. You take a gram of this. And many of us are on this kind of medication right now. You know what it is? It's just abnormal stress, because God is calling you. My God, he calls me. He calls me in the thunder. I hear him call deep down in my soul. I ain't got long to stay here. See, you black man, you know somebody is disturbing you where you are. You're not happy doing what you're doing. The old sex ain't giving you pleasure no more. The old dope ain't giving you pleasure no more, because, brother, God is calling on you to get up and do what he commanded you to do when he created you. And by your not doing that, more stress is on your brain. You're supposed to get up and do for yourself today. But you're still laying at the foot of the white man begging him to do something for you. And so he's getting sick of you and kicking you away from his door. And more stress is being added to your brain, depleting your ability to comfort your own soul. So you're troubled. And you need some external help. So here come the dope man. That's why you're drinking more liquor, smoking more cigarettes, smoking more reefer. You got pills to do everything. I'm too fat, I'll take a pill. Instead of developing your will and just push away from the table, you got a pill. Some of you having operations and clipping your stomach. Crazy. You're doing everything but what you should be doing. So it's getting worse and worse and worse. White folk, you taking drugs as much and more than black people. Why? You see your world coming down. Surely man is in loss except those who believe and do good. And so now when you see the stock market falling, when you see your businesses closing down, when you see the oil that you need to turn your industry coming into the hand of somebody that don't like you, you begin to grieve over your loss. The reason you need drugs today is because America, as well as you and me, are under divine judgment. And in judgment, your brain can't produce what you need to survive. So the dope man makes $300 billion a year in America selling legal and illegal drugs. General Motors did $98 billion, and it's the #1 multinational corporation in America. And drugs in America did 3 times what General Motors did. The country is under judgment. It's raining, but you get no joy out of the rain. When the rain comes down, it comes down 4, 5, 6, 7 inches at a time. When the wind blows, it's not a gentle wind. When the snow comes, it's burying cities. When the hail comes down, it's not little stones, but bigger and bigger balls of ice. And the ants are turning against you. And the boll weevils are coming against you. And the caterpillars and the spiders. God is using nature beating the hell out of you because your time has come. Unless you repent and submit and say, God, I'm tired of fighting you. I surrender and develop the faith in God. Then faith will fuel the brain. And the brain will produce everything you need. And you won't need no dope man. Are you listening? See, Farrakhan is a hated man. Hated by white people who don't understand me. Hated by the government. Hated by Jews. Hated by some ignorant preachers. Hated by some of my ignorant Muslim brothers. Hated by some who are envious of my success. But I have no success. God is he who called you here tonight. Has nothing to do with Farrakhan. You came to hear a word because you know that this man is telling it like it is. Now look. But yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Why? I don't need any drugs. I won't smoke. I won't drink. I won't even take an aspirin. I hate medicine. I just try to live right. Eat 1 meal a day. Fast 3 days out of a month. Sometimes I'll fast 7 days. Sometimes 14. Sometimes 30 days. Keeping in control, praising a God. I submit my will to do his will. And I believe that he has the power to deliver me. So out of my own brain, I produce my comfort. I'm a living man. I once was dead, but now I'm alive. I was blind, but now I see. I was a wretch, but his grace found me. in a sweet sound of a word that went into my ear and stood me up. And he took out of me a heart of stone, and he gave me a heart of flesh. My heart bleeds for the suffering of black people. My heart bleeds for the death of human beings. I have a tender heart now because it is alive. It is full of love and compassion. My brain is alive now. I can lay down and think on problems and wake up in the morning with solutions. I'm alive now, forevermore. I am he that was dead, but am alive now. And I've come to blow the trumpet of truth, that you who are dead may get up, that your eyes may open, your ears may open, your tongue will speak, and you'll stand up from a dead level on a living perpendicular, standing on the square, using your compass to mark out a circle of divine brotherhood, becoming master builders again. You're dead now, black man, but your time has come to arise from your 6-foot grave. Get up, black man, and be yourself. Come on into power and dominion again. And your woman will honor you and love you and respect you. She will follow you. She will help you and me. Birmingham, you can do it. Birmingham, God prepared you for this day. Birmingham, you're a great city. Alabama, you're a great state. Come up out of death. You ain't got to wait to go to the cemetery. You're already in it. Get up out of your grave. That's the resurrection. It is not coming up out of the cemetery. It's coming up out of the grave. Your brain is buried under the lust of your flesh, but when truth finds you, it will lift you up and give you power over your flesh, and you'll be able to say, "Oh grave, where's your victory? Oh death, where's your sting?" Jesus was the first fruit of them that slept, and the first begotten of the dead. He was one raised from this condition, and he was exalted to the right hand of God according to the scripture, meaning that man has the divine right to come into the power of God, to exercise God's will over his creation. Jesus did it. We can do it. Let's get on up and be ourselves. Birmingham, let's stop the killing and let's start living again. Thank you for listening, and may Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, thank you. Let's have prayer together and then go home. Can we have prayer together? Can I ask you a question? How many of you who listened to what you heard tonight believe that what you heard taught is the truth and is good for us? Let me see your hands. Raise them up real high. Thank you. I want to ask one more question. Those of you who believe it is truth, how many of you